I'm excited because we're just getting started. We're going to go through the break. We're just going to keep it rolling because that's how we do it. All right, we're going to keep it rolling. So I want to bring up our next speaker. And this individual is a person that inspires me. Each and every day I see this individual making videos, providing content. It not only motivates me, but it challenges me to do more. And it's not just because of the attention or the amount of money that he's made. It's because the way he's building businesses that actually make a difference. And that's really what inspires me the most. So one of my mentors, and some of you guys may know him, I know he's a mentor to Chris as well. His name's Mark Hoverson. He's battling cancer right now. We recently did a campaign together, and we raised almost $300,000 for him. That was awesome. I don't know if you guys saw that. But Mark said something in an interview that he had with Chris one time, and he said, Chris, I have to say, you may be the best trainer that I've ever seen. And this is coming from a guy that's one of my mentors. So I'm so excited. You guys, this guy has made tens of millions of dollars. He started companies like Techademics. He's now starting a new company called Lifepreneur. And he's changing lives all over the world. So you guys excited? Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and check out this video, and then we're going to bring Chris up here to crush the stage for you guys right now.
We're gonna be live right now in like 2 minutes. Stay with us if you guys want to do this. Share this on your profile, you guys. I'm about to drop some knowledge on how to scale your first $1 million campaign. Let's go.
Knowledge is the key, so equip with the right tool. Mindset mastery, millionaire mentality. Focus on your inner game, perception is reality. Always make sure that you're following your passion. Rise and grind and take massive action. Stay true to the game, daily with persistence. Following your game plan, gotta stay consistent.
Yeah.
Welcome to the stage, the one, the only Mr. Chris Recker. Get on your feet, guys.
There we go. How you guys doing? All right. I've got a lot of content right now, so before I get going, I just want to kind of feel out the audience because I'm about to drive through a bunch of notes and teach you something on how to scale your first $1 million advertising campaign. It's not fluff, it's not hype, it's nothing like that. People spend a lot of money for this kind of training with personal mentorship and stuff like that for me. I figured I want to deliver some value because Vince Reed is one of the most amazing human beings that I know when it comes to heart, when it comes to talent, when it comes to putting together communities. So you guys pretty pumped about the event so far? Yeah. So real quick, how many people in this room, raise your hands if you've ever seen me speak on stage before. Anybody ever here? Okay, ever seen on stage? How many have ever seen me speak online before? Okay, how many people have never heard of me before? Let me see. Okay, like half the audience. How many people won't raise their hand no matter what I say right now? There's the rest of you guys right back there. So if you don't know much about me, on social media you can find me at Chris Record most everywhere. I just want to deliver value. I feel my calling as a teacher. You know, the summarized story is as a young guy, growing up, when my parents were divorced, my mom lived on welfare, Section 8, food stamps, and it kind of got me this grind and this hustle. I ended up hanging out with a lot of the wrong kids growing up. So I don't know if anybody had that path or can relate to that, but I ended up getting in a lot of trouble and defying authority. So when it came to things like going to school and sitting in class, I did not have that in the books. I dropped out of school in the 9th grade. I've never been back to school since. I've never graduated high school, never graduated college, never even went. And some people are excited. Like that's like, congratulations, well done, sir, well done. What an outstanding citizen, a role model. I'm glad to have him on stage. So instead of taking that path, what I did was I took the path of entrepreneurship. I remember one time I got a sales job, and the application process and the interview process, I was nervous. At some point, they're going to ask me the question, like, where did you go to high school? You know, did you have a college degree? But they didn't ask any of that. They said, when can you get started? Are you willing to work on commissions? And I said, it doesn't matter that I didn't go to high school? No, why would it matter? If you can sell, you sell and you make money. If you can't, you don't, and you go find something new. So I actually found my calling initially in sales. It was one place where I could get accepted. And as a defiant kid, a dropout, a hoodlum, a misfit, sales was a place that was embracing me warm and open and just said, hey, you know what? Listen, if you can learn this and do this professionally, you can make a great career out of it. Not only that, but sales was more lucrative than the jobs I was looking at. So while all my friends were rising up the ranks at the restaurant that we were all working at together, I was a busboy with ambitions one day to be a food server and then a waiter. And then at the top of that pyramid was the Saturday night waiter. If you get like a Friday night or Saturday night shift, you're clocking like $300 a night sometimes. And that's like, I don't know, $6,000 a month. You're set. What else would you possibly need, right? That was my vision, my dream. And instead, I started out with sales jobs and ended up making a couple $1,000s a weekend in commissions. And it just escalated from there. I ended up building my own little agency and selling small businesses, website design, and SEO services. And it just exploded. When I say exploded, it sounds like it happened overnight. It exploded over 5 years of a lot of hard work. But it eventually got big, $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month. And sales is where I found my calling. Well, here's where the switch to teaching was. All my friends would always ask me, how on earth are you doing this? How did you just make $20,000? Please teach me. And I don't know if anybody's ever had this, but the moment you have a breakthrough, all your friends want a piece of the pie, right? And I'm either going to give them money or I'm going to teach them, right? Feed them or teach them how to fish themselves. So I'd get everybody around my house in chairs. There was no cost to this. It was just like I ran my own little workshops for free, trying to teach all my friends what I was doing online to make money. And then my friend George started making $5,000 a month. My friend Clifton started making money. My friend Steve, everybody started making money. So I'm thinking, I'm onto something here. So eventually what I did was I started putting these into courses. Instead of just grabbing like 5 or 10 friends around my room, we started recording videos, putting them into courses, and selling them. My first real big course sold for $100, was very, very inexpensive, and it taught how to advertise on Facebook. And that course ended up doing, I think, 5,000 customers at $100 a piece. So I ended up doing $500,000 in sales, and it blew my mind that that kind of money could be made. It took me a weekend to make the course, and then a little bit of advertising, and that course was off. I didn't have to go around and do any speaking, anything like that, anything crazy. Just easy money. My first 6 figures of good money. So then I did it again and figured instead of $100, let's raise the price to $297. So at $300, let's see how well this does. In my first month, it did over $1 million in sales. My first month. So I was like, wow, this is crazy, right? So let's see, how much bigger can you go? Now I got a feel for it. So I took my time, did it again, did another product launch, and did over $2.5 million. And just started growing. So that escalated to $10 million in sales that year. I took it like Vince started, I took $1 million and went and started up another company called Techademics. That grew into tens of millions of dollars. And recently I moved to Las Vegas and started up a new company called Lifepreneur. We got excited people in Las Vegas, right? And I started a company called Lifepreneur. The reason behind Lifepreneur is I want to be more balanced in the approach. I found myself very excited, but I like losing focus because if all you're doing is chasing money, it's like there just comes a time where either you're making so much you just lose interest, you start coasting, or you're not making enough, which is even worse because then money dominates all your thoughts and all you care about is money. There's no like sweet spot when it's just money driven. So I decided, what can I do in my life to have more balance? We started raising money for charities, for friends. Raised money for one of my friends who's paralyzed and had this dream to be able to fly. So we created this little contraption to be able to fly. We raised $25,000 for him. And then we started raising money for these charities, just like Mark Hoverson. Partnered up with Vince Reed, did some promotions, did some videos, some advertising. Over $250,000 there. Tens of thousands of dollars for autism charities. And I started realizing like, this is all the stuff we put off. All the stuff we want to do, we put off until later when we have enough time and money. But what if there was a way to incorporate it all along the process? So you're constantly in a flow of making money, helping people, and freeing up your time, automating your business so you have time and money. And simultaneously, going out there and donating your money and volunteering your time. And what if you could make it all work together, where harmoniously, you could make money, buy back some of your time, and then you could pay it forward and go help other people and create a little circle out of that. And that was the vision and the dream behind Lifepreneur, the idea of having a more conscious entrepreneur. Instead of an entrepreneur, which represents the hustle and the grind, what about being a lifepreneur, which just represents living the life you actually want to live in the first place? You know, writing out, what is this dream life I actually want? Instead of waiting 10 or 20 years to do it, what's wrong with doing it now, doing it along the path? See, all it really comes down to is a limiting belief. It's all that stops anybody. is, well, I can't do that right now because I have bills and I have debt and I have credit card debt and I have family and I have kids and you don't understand my situation. And I've never made money like that and I'm just trying to make next month's rent. And this dominates your thoughts. So what happens is you take your dreams and you put them on the side. Well, here's my challenge to everybody. How is that any different as an entrepreneur than working a job for 40 years and retiring at the end of those 40 years? How is it any different? We don't want this job life, so we do the entrepreneur life, but we end up in the same limiting mindset, belief pattern, and we end up just working as an entrepreneur for 40 years without ever making enough money to retire and live the life we want. It's a trap, okay? You've got to get out of the trap of trading 40, 60, 80, 100 hours a week just to be on a cycle of more and more and more and get into out of the trap and get into the cycle of life, the cycle of everything you do should be focused on generating income, automated, so that you can bring in money and time, and then taking that time and money and investing it in the things that you actually want to do along the way. So here's what I encourage everybody to do. Write a list of what your ideal life looks like. Everything about your ideal life. And dream big about it. Write down this big list, and then next to each item of every single thing that you want, put a price tag. How much is that going to cost me? Or if it doesn't cost money, if it's time, how much time do I need to do this? So if you put down something like, I've always wanted to go and stay in one of those huts over the water in Bora Bora. Okay? How many people would love something like that? Right? You've seen all those pictures. Well, all it takes is actually dialing it in. Have you looked at the cost of plane tickets? Have you looked at the best times of year to go there? Have you looked at the cost of what a little hut costs? How long would you want to be there? Have you taken the time to research the excursions that you're actually going to do? What do those cost? Where does your business need to be financially and time-wise to afford you the luxury of doing that? And that's just one item on your list. But you know what the problem is? Almost nobody has that written out. All we do is we see an Instagram post of a beautiful hut in Bora Bora, and we go, I want to go there. And we double tap, and then we get back to work, and we get back to the grind. That's what life has become. What if life could be a lot more fun? What if you could get paid to go to Bora Bora? What if you could have advertising campaigns or automated campaigns running that actually made you money while you were in Bora Bora? That paid for the whole trip. What's possible is just stretching the limiting thoughts, the limiting beliefs that are in your mind to seeing how is this possible, if that's what you truly want to do. So I encourage you, write it down. Write down everything. If time and money were not an object and you could just do the things you want to do, what would that be? Man, go through everything. I went through this exercise and I got so detailed. I'm like, well, I'd want to have a chiropractor. This is how many times I would want to go. Oh, I would want to get massages. This is how I'd want to go. There's 3 cars. I can't decide which one I would want. So let's just get all 3. And then, what's this vision board of the things you want to be, do, and have? And then you write them all out and you figure out what that lifestyle is. And then every single day, with passion and purpose, you should wake up chasing that life. And then figure out how to fit your business into that. Not how to just work business to make money. Because you think, once I make money, I'm going to do that. You know what's going to happen? Once you make money, you're going to reinvest back into your business. Or you're just going to end up spending that money. It's going to be gone. Or an unexpected tax bill is going to come along. Or something, you're just going to end up next thing you know, you're just working and making money and working and making money. And that becomes like a cloud over there. One day I'm going to help the orphans. And then 5 years later, I ask you, how's that going? You're like, oh man, my business is almost there. The poor orphans had to wait 5 years. You're still not ready. And I was like, why not just help the orphans and go video that and then make all these videos, awesome videos, and then go spread that goodwill on YouTube and this, that. You're going to get more followers and make more money. The things that you want to do will probably make more money than the things you're actually doing. And you probably don't even enjoy the things you're doing. He said, I thought this was church. I thought I could preach. Right? I didn't know it was a conference. So what I want to do is I want enough hype, enough story. That's who I am. You can follow me online. I want to dive into some details. There's a mindset that it requires to get to the point of spending millions of dollars. Okay, so I was scared of spending. In fact, another quick little story is the first time I placed my first advertising campaign, I dedicated $2,000 to a Facebook ads campaign. The very first time, I'm like, I'm going to smash this. I was so confident, loved it. I went and placed those ads. 1 week later, $2,000 was gone. And I had 0 results. Not even a single sale. I was so deflated that I didn't just quit advertising. No, I'm an extremist. Okay? Quitting advertising would be easy. Oh, that didn't work. No. I'm an extremist, by the way. My personality style. I didn't just quit Facebook ads. I went ahead and created this whole entire mission to go tell everybody how bad Facebook ads were. Don't do paid traffic. Organic traffic is where I became like, it's us versus them, you know? Those evil people stole my money. We're going to team up, and we're going to show them organic is better. Let's go write some blog posts, okay? And that's basically what happened. Then my friend Arthur, who I actually knew, this dude, I knew him well. Not some guy, not some magician, you know, not somebody as skilled and good looking as Vince Reed. You know, it was just my friend Arthur. And my friend, how are you getting clicks for 13 cents? Targeted clicks. How are you getting them for 10 cents? Like, how are you even doing it? It's myth. I don't understand it. So he showed me. So I was like, all right, here we go. I'm going to join the evil, dark side of these advertisers, suck my money up, people. And I put $2,000 in again. And I tried. And I wish I could tell you that first one worked, but it didn't. And I'll fast forward to the bad part of the story. I did lose the $2,000 again. But at the end of losing this $2,000, right at like the final couple $100, I cracked the code. I cracked it. I mean, I was buying likes to fan pages, and I cracked it to where I was getting likes for under a penny a piece. See, he was getting likes for 1 penny to 2 penny on these fan pages, building them up to millions of fans, and then he was selling stuff in the posts. And I was like, how are you getting them 2 cents? When I'm paying 8 cents, 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents. How are you getting them for 2 cents and 1 penny? Well, needless to say, who had the last laugh? I opened up my laptop, and I was getting as many as 5 likes for a penny. A fifth of a penny. Now he's coming to me like, how are you doing that? Teach me, right? So the student became the teacher. We partnered up. We built out millions of fans on these fan pages, started crushing it, and that's really where my Facebook advertising career took off. That was 2014. That year crushed over $1 million. 2015, 16, 17, over $10 million per year. And it's just, wow. But in order for me to get there, I had to break this limiting belief mindset that I had. So I figured, what better thing to teach you. Rather than going into all the exact details, which I can only show so much right now, I went back and thought, what is the number one thing that I really was missing? What is the number one thing that I really did not understand? And I cracked the code on that. I went back, figured it out, put in a presentation for you, and that's what we're going to jump into. So today I'm going to show you how to scale your first $1 million advertising campaign. Who's fired up here this time? All right, let's dial it in. Before you get started, by the way, take notes. I will do my best to try to get this slideshow to Vince or to whoever. So if you want to rely on that, rely on that. But I've often said things from stage and forgot before I even got off stage. So try to get Vince to get them to you. Okay? I even put the logo on there for you, Vince, just try to make them yours. Before you get started, you must understand customer LTV. There's no other one thing for me that has been more useful than understanding LTV. Now, what is LTV? It means a lot of different things. The one on top is the one I go with. LTV, I call it lifetime value. Okay, that's just what I call it. You're going to hear a lot of things out there. A lot of people call it CLV, which is like the customer lifetime value. LCV, the lifetime customer value. You know, different variations of it. In the loan world, it's like loan to value. You know, you'll hear people like average customer order. You're going to hear all these terms and people abbreviate them to 3 initials, and it can be confusing. For the sake of this presentation, LTV stands for the lifetime value of a customer. That's all we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how this number is going to help you have confidence to scale to millions of dollars. Without this number, I'm going to show you the difference between amateurs and professionals. Why most amateurs lose money when they're advertising. Most professionals run the same exact thing, the same exact way and make money. And amateurs are just mystified. They're like, what? How are you doing it and you're making money? I do it and I lose money. It can be frustrating. I'm going to show you how to alleviate that entire frustration right now. I'm going to give you 2 examples of LTV. I'm going to do my best to break this down 2 fully different ways so you get what it is. Then I'm going to show you how to apply it and how to scale it. Number 1, membership sites. Has anybody here ever joined any kind of a monthly program of any kind where you pay monthly? Right? Everybody. Even your cell phone bill, things like that, right? So let's just categorize all these continuity sites as a membership site. Give an example. Let's just say it was $100 a month. Very clear numbers. At $100 a month in my membership site, let's say I have it called chrisrecord.com and I want to get people to join for $100 a month. Well, my goal is going to be to somehow reach people with ads and get them to come pay $100 a month. Amateur thinking is going to tell me if I can spend like $50 to acquire a customer, then I'm making $50 off of it. But I'm going to kind of change your mindset about all of this in just a minute. So let's look at it. $100 a month membership site. These percentages are just all hypotheticals. That's why I didn't even put numbers. But let's just talk about what a customer could do. If they were to come to my Chris Record membership site, a certain percentage of them might not want to pay monthly. A lot of them, it says, if there's a deal to pay annually, I'll do it. Has anybody here ever paid annually and got a much better deal than the monthly? Yeah, so if it's $100 a month, and I sell you annual for 2 months off, or 4 months off, some people take that. So a certain percentage do that. A certain percentage are going to stay on for like an entire year. They just pay. You know, a lot of people just forget about it. I'll tell you, honestly, I own stuff that I just forget about, and I just keep paying. Some people stay on. Some will stay on 6 to 12 months. Some will stay on 3 to 6 months. Some only 1 to 3 months. And the part nobody ever likes to talk about in internet marketing is that people will cancel. People will refund. People will charge back. No matter how much value you deliver to them, you could literally give them everything that they've ever wanted in life. But it doesn't matter. If they accidentally overdrafted their account at home and they got an argument with their spouse, they're going to come want a refund or tell you that it wasn't what they expected. Don't take it personally, right? When people are spending money, this just happens. That's the downside of internet marketing nobody wants to talk about. So I just factor it into everything. I always factor in high refund rates, high charge, all this kind of stuff. Sometimes like 5%. I'm like, hey, 5% of customers probably at some point are going to want a refund. So we just factor it all in. I'm not showing you the exact percentage number because it's going to be different for everybody. But the point of this is just because I sell a $100 a month membership site does not mean I'm collecting $1,200 a month from everybody per year. It just never happens. That's too good to be true. So it's really what's going to happen is it's going to be a combination of this. So much so that it's hard to even track. You know, like this group here might stay on for 3 months. You might stay on 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months. I have no idea. So instead, what you have to do is you just have to do different kind of math. You have to look at the total amount of members that you have, the total amount of revenue you've generated, and you divide those into each other, and you find out what your average person is paying. That average number is what you're looking at. Now, in membership sites, it's different. So let's just say the average customer stays on for 4 months, and you acquire, let's say, 1,000 people to your membership site. So, you have a membership site. It has 1,000 paying people, or at least people that paid at some point, and the average person stays on for 4 months. Okay? This is very, very typical. In fact, if you go ask a lot of people in the industry how long people stay on their monthly program, generally 4 months. 3 to 6 months is the range. So, this is your numbers. We're going to keep going. In this case, if you had 1,000 members that stayed on for 4 months, what's 4 times $100? 400. So 1,000 members times 400 each is $400,000. So this is your math. You look at your bank. Maybe you're doing this on Stripe or PayPal or something. It's simple. You go to your Stripe balance. It says 400,000. You divide it by your total members, which is 1,000, and you get your LTV. That is the current lifetime value. If the average customer stays on for 5 months, then that would be 500,000, and your average LTV would be 500. It's straightforward, simple math. But as simple as this is, and we should all be learning this, kids should be learning this in 5th grade, as simple as this is, most adults that advertise are not following what I'm about to show you at all. It's like sometimes the most uncommon thing is common sense, right? So let's just go through it. In this example, $400,000, with that, watch what happens. Even though you're only collecting $100 when somebody joins, you know they're going to keep paying for about 4 months on average. So the lifetime value is 400, not 100. So I never even look at the dollar. I never even look at $100. In this example, I'm selling $100 memberships. I never even look at the $100 number. It will mess me up. It will screw me up completely. Okay? 100 actually equals 400 in this math. And what I've had to do is train myself to never look at the cost of the product I'm selling. If you look at the cost of the product you're selling, you're going to have a very difficult time scaling. Okay? Don't just follow my advice here. Just trust me on this one. Don't look at the cost of what you're selling. Okay? It's sales and really, what you're doing is you're using marketing to be able to get people to the point of making a sale, and then you're looking how to be able to retain them as long as possible to make more money. It's a different game. I'm not selling $100 a month memberships. It's not what I'm doing. You got to get better. So just technically speaking, you could technically afford to spend $200 to acquire a $100 customer and still double your money on ad spend. Just this simple math right here, look at this. If I'm spending $200 to make $100, I'm losing money. But in this, I'm doubling my money. This one little slide right here, I could apply this to almost anybody's business in here and show you how to turn your losses into profits. We could customize this to almost any business in here by just making a couple small tweaks to show you how to make more money with your existing customer base so you stop losing and start making. But you know what happens to everybody? They lose, they give up, they quit, they get burned, and then they join the good old side of blogging. And that's what I did. Number 2, And by the way, I still like blogging. There's no diss on blogging. It's just, I remember like, there was like 1 year where I wrote like 4,000 articles. And I only made something like, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 off of that, when this is just so much easier and effortless and you make millions. It's a funny comparison. We all start somewhere. So here's another example. Digital products. For this example, I'm going to talk more about a sales funnel. Like if somebody creates a course or a product launch, you've all seen it. Somebody's got a new offer coming out and it's X amount of money and there's a funnel. There's more stuff you could buy. Let's look at it. In this example, just because I already had the bullet points, I had 6 bullet points. So I said, okay, this sales funnel is going to have 6 things in it. It's going to have 6 things. It's just an arbitrary number. Your sales funnel is going to have 2 things, 3 things, doesn't matter. 6 things in it. My objective is to run profitable paid advertising to acquire customers. And I have a funnel with 6 things for sale in it. Let's look at it. This is an example funnel, okay? This is actually very, very real, by the way. But let's look at it. There's 6 items. Item number 1 is the front end. They call it the FE, front end. Item number 1 usually is something inexpensive to be able to get a lot of people into your funnel. Even before this, probably like enter your name and email and I'll give you something free. Usually like a free offer and then they get into your paid products. In this example, product number 1 is $37, very inexpensive, it's affordable, you don't need any fancy, webinars and fancy tools, literally you just need a sales page and a good little course. Let's just hypothetically say that course was Instagram hacks. Here's 21 Instagram hacks that have helped me grow a following to 100,000 followers. It's $37. There you go. That's how simple it can be, right? Okay. Front end product, $37. The next 3 products are called OTOs, which in the industry is short for one-time offer. Okay? Or maybe you know them as upsells. Hey, you just bought this Instagram, 21 Instagram hacks. Hey, for $67, you can also get access to a software that will publish to Instagram from your desktop. How cool would that be? So you don't have to go on your phone. This will schedule out your posts. You're like, hey, I need that. If I'm going to learn how to build Instagram and learn how to grow my following, hey, I need this. And then $97. Maybe $97 is, how would you like to join the Instagram Insiders Club? That's where a whole bunch of people are here, and the average person has X amount of followers. This is like a VIP club. Normally $97 a month. We'll give it to you for $97 one-time fee if you join right now. These are one-time offers. So suddenly you're like, wow, I just wanted the $37 Instagram thing, but suddenly it's like, yeah, I want to auto-post my stuff and schedule it. Yeah, I want to join this Insiders Club. You see what I'm saying? Maybe the $197 is, how would you like a vault of all the best pictures and have quotes on them, and with a click of your mouse, you can just customize the quotes and put your name on them if you want. You got this vault, these pictures, they're all perfectly sized for Instagram. Boom. Or something like Instagram Stories is hot. For $197, here's this whole entire training teaching you how to do Instagram Stories. Whatever it is. Do you see how this works? They come in for a front-end offer. There's a few little one-time bump offers, upsells, and then that's it. The first 4 products, usually that's it. Somebody's only going to spend so much money. So in that case, there's a 37, a 67, a 97, a 197. Then there's a back end. What that means is after everybody buys, usually you've got something else in the back end. Maybe the back end, let's say $9.97 in this example. And let's say, by the way, Instagram, I'm just freestyling this. I had no idea I was going to talk Instagram. This just shows how this works with anything. I just literally just thought Instagram off the top of my head. The back end, let's say it was Instagram, would be something like, for $9.97, I've got a package that will help you grow your followers and grow your engagement, stuff like that. This teaches you how. But then for $9.97, we actually can we've got this huge network, and they'll give you shout outs and they'll send followers your way, and check out what Susie did and David did and Bob did. Look at their results. $9.97, you can explode your Instagram, whatever it is. There's the influencer package. And then you're like, I gotta have that too, because I don't want to have to do it all myself. I want it right now. Next thing you know, a certain percentage are buying each of these. You don't know how many. X percent is buying the front end, X percent, only a percentage each way. And then after the back end, a good funnel has something high ticket. Maybe an example of high ticket in Instagram is the Instagram Mastermind. And what it is, it says, hey, we're getting together with 20 of us, and we're going to be with, this Mr. X who has 4.5 million followers on his Instagram, and he's literally going to spend an entire day with us, or 3 days, or whatever. It's a 3-day mastermind. Day 1, Mr. X. Day 2, Mrs. Y. And day 3, Mr. Z. And each one of them are these big influencers. And you say, how would you like to meet them, take pictures with them, ask them questions in a mastermind environment? If you're going to spend your time on Instagram, you absolutely want to be in this mastermind. There you go, 10 grand. Some people are going to buy it. The point is, is that you have a low front end. It's a funnel. Low front end all the way to big high ticket. Now, I'm not teaching rocket science. If you guys have Google and you search sales funnels, you can probably find something just like this. So the reason I'm sharing this is that you have to understand what LTV is, why it's so important for advertising, and how to create a massive LTV, how to create a huge LTV. The bigger you can create your LTV, the more money you're able to spend on your advertising, the better chance you have of success. So this right here is an example of a product line. Let's look at this ascending product line and how it could work, okay? X percentages, just like the last one. Some people, okay, so like out of the people that buy the $37 product, only a percentage of them are going to buy the $67. If you're really good, maybe like 50%. Because they weren't expecting it. It's like they just spent all this time reading your page, they got sold on the 37, so now it's like a surprise, 67. So maybe like 50% buy that, and then maybe like 25% buy them, it goes down. As you ascend through higher priced products, the amount of people that purchase them go down. But since the price is up, it actually evens out. It creates a lot of volume in your business when you do this. And it's never a bad thing to make something available. If you're offering something of value, people, they either buy it or they don't. As long as you fulfill it and deliver it, people are going to either buy it or they're not. And if they buy it, meet their expectation, they're going to be happy. So there's no reason why your business shouldn't have more products in it. And honestly, no matter what business you're in right now, literally, we can put hot seats on a stage, and there's almost no business that you could quiz me with that doesn't fit this model. I'm using 2 examples. I could do this with anything. Multi-level marketers, real estate agents, internet marketers. I could use this if you're an affiliate marketer. I could use this. We could do this with anything. Anything that you wanted, we could fit this in. Okay, traditional business. If you were a restaurant owner, we could fit this in. Okay? So an escalating line, a percentage you're going to purchase. Let's look at it. I'm going to break this funnel into 3 parts to really show you how to create LTV with a small offer. We're going to do front end, back end, and high ticket. Part 1, the front end. So the front end is those first 4 boxes of the funnel. Products 1 through 4. Those are low cost on this example. So all we really need is a sales page, maybe a sales video on it, and like some content that basically breaks down what the product is, why it's a good fit for you, some social proof, some examples and demonstration, that's it. 37, 67, 97, 197. Let's forget the other 2 for now. So, if they buy all 4 of those products, the total is $398. For math, to make it easy, I'm just going to round that up to 400. There's no reason to actually do the math at $398. So, if they purchase all of those, you got $400 in total front-end volume. So let's look at this. Let's assume the average person does not purchase at all. Let's say when it's all said and done with your percentages, that the average purchase is $200. And this example works just as well with 100, so it doesn't really matter. These numbers are arbitrary. This is purely a hypothetical example. I literally made up Instagram a second ago. Let's assume the average customer purchases 200. What that means, in case anybody's not following along, if somebody comes in the front door and buys that $37 product, on average, for every one of those $37 purchases, the average order volume is going to be around 200. Okay? On average, because some are going to buy the 67, the 97, the 197. There's some are going to buy it all. So there's 400 in total products available. Let's just say half. Okay? Again, change it yourself if you want. If you got 10,000 buyers, and again, there's an arbitrary number. You might only have 100 buyers. But just put some numbers up to show. 10,000 people buy your $37 program. Okay? And 10,000 may seem like a lot or a little to you guys. To me, it seems like a little. Like I wouldn't want to do it if only 10,000 people went through the program. But to some of you, you might think, I'd do it for 1,000 customers, right? It all starts somewhere. So I don't make up your own numbers. It's the same math. Okay? 10,000 people buy your $37 product. The average person spending $200 in that funnel. Your total revenue is $2 million. And so to calculate your LTV, it's simple. You look at your Stripe account. $2 million. You look at your total number of buyers, 10,000. 2 million divided by 10,000, you're going to get $200 per customer on average. That's how you're going to figure out your LTV. So if somebody comes in for $37, they're worth $200 to me. Okay? And by the way, that $200 LTV works if it's 100 buyers. It's the same number. So let's keep going. 37 actually equals 200. This right here was the single biggest breakthrough I ever had. Quick story before I go a little bit further. I joined this affiliate marketing network called JVZoo. Has anybody ever heard of a company called JV? Okay, like a lot of people? JVZoo. This is back in like 2014. And I didn't have a big email list. And so I, at the time, was like, how can I promote something if I don't have a big email list? And And I hadn't launched my Facebook ads course yet, which was eventually going to get me 5,000 buyers. So I was going to have 5,000 people to promote other stuff to. But I didn't have that yet. So I went on and I found a product that had a good sales page. And funny enough, the product was $37. That's why I brought that up. And I placed Facebook ads to sell the product. And I figured, let's just see if I can sell it at a profit. I sold Facebook ads. The Facebook ads went to a lead capture page. So I generated some lead. I wanted to build a list. They went and bought that product. And then in that course, that product actually had a lot of upsells. I can't even remember what it was. Peter, if you somehow remind me what that product was, like Devin and Wyatt's product, back in 2014. I can't even remember. Bottom line is it was like a 37, then a 67, then basically what I just showed you. So even though I was just selling a $37 product, the average person was purchasing like $200 worth of stuff from them. And I'm like, wow, it's converting. So here's the thing. All of my ads were losing money. Every single one of them across the board were losing money. But my bank account reflected a profit. Even though all the ads were losing money. I was spending way more than $37 to make a sale because I really wasn't that good at ads yet. But this is where I first had my breakthrough. I was looking at the number 37. The worst mistake you can ever make in an advertiser is looking at the cost of the thing you're selling and not the LTV. Okay? I didn't know the LTV because I never promoted this guy's program before. So I didn't know. Now I know. Now I would have done this way better. So much bigger. This is just beginning. Let's go a little bit further. Instead of front end, let's say there was a back end to the product. So let's say you got that cool. $37 equals $200. Wow, okay. Well, can we add to that? Let's go to the back end. Let's say you offered a back end product at $9.97 to all of your existing paying customers. Okay? In this example, I think we said it was like an Instagram booster pack. You know, get more engagement, get more comments, get more likes, get more followers. It's like a done-for-you service, $9.97. Okay. All your people already bought. Now you're offering an additional $9.97 product to them. So that's the back-end product. It's the 5th product in this order. But you would generally sell that via like a webinar or an auto webinar. So what I would do in this case is product number 1 would be a sales page. As soon as they bought that, instead of going to access the product, it would say, wait, one-time offer. Here's a $67 offer, another little mini sales page. And then wait, a one-time offer for $97. Wait, a one-time offer for $197. Products 1 through 4 are all done in like a ClickFunnels type of a sales funnel. And then after $197, I would stop. I'm not going to be like, oh, wait, here's a $997 product. You could try, but at that point, that person's already probably like, really, you just squeezed $400 out of me, now you want another $1,000. And I only came for a $37 21 tip, you know? So you generally have to like cut it off and build a little bit of rapport with the customer. So what I would do is I would do like an onboarding webinar. I would say, all the new members, the 10,000 of them, whatever, join me this Thursday night for a webinar. I'm going to show you how to use your members area, and I'm going to show you a way to be able to put your Instagram profile on autopilot. In fact, on Thursday's webinar, you're going to hear from Susie and Bob and Dave, whatever, on how they grew theirs to 100,000 followers. Don't miss this. So that webinar first is going to be customer appreciation. Thank you everybody for joining, da-da-da-da-da. Here's the product you got, it's all there. But then, let me introduce these people, and at about an hour mark, I'm going to say, hey, if anybody wants this, it's $9.97. Okay? And then maybe what I'll do is I'll put it available in the members area for $19.97. I'll log in the members area and say, hey, anytime you guys want $2,000 or $3,000, you can just purchase this. You can purchase it later, take your time. But right now on today's webinar, if anybody wants it, I'll give it to you for $1,000. You can look, I'll go in the members area, purchase it for $3,000 right here. Look, it's live. You can purchase it. Or buy it right now, one time, tonight, for $1,000. And that'll drive a lot of sales. Okay? That's called a back-end webinar. You can also do an auto webinar if your launch keeps running. You know, you don't want to do one webinar. You might want to be like, when somebody joins, they automatically get to join this webinar and learn about it. An auto webinar would be something like EverWebinar. There are services like that out there. Okay. Hypothetical numbers. I can't give you real numbers because I don't know your business. I'm rounding up from $9.97 to $1,000. Hypothetical. You close 5%, but get this. Only of those customers, you're only closing 5%, whether it's auto webinar or not, 5%. I've closed more, but I've also closed less, so there's no real number. There's been one webinar where you close like 15% of people on a $1,000 product, right? We're just like, wow, that works really well. There's been another webinar where we can't close. The offer has to be good. There's so many variables. Hypothetically, let's just say 5%. Okay? So you have 10,000 people buy the front-end product. Maybe through webinars, you're able to close 5%. It could be 1%, 10%, doesn't matter. So you have 10,000 members that bought your $37 product, and out of those, 5% is 500. 500 people buy that. That generates an additional $500,000 on the back end. So your front end generated $2 million. And on the back end, you generated another $500,000 in revenue. Now, one of the asterisk on the bottom is kind of cool because on something like that, you generally have much higher profit margins because now a lot of times you're not even paying affiliates. You might have affiliates promoting your program, but maybe they don't get a cut of the stuff you do in the back end. So you could figure this out. So like that's like a pure profit play. Like Digital Marketer, those guys, they call it like the profit maximizer. Russell Brunson, those guys do. They say, after you get done doing all this work over here, have some sort of real high profitable product right there. So you can just grab a big profit play at the end. And you're doing them a service. Okay? Let's just say that adds $500,000. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that $500,000 and add it to your total revenue and recalculate your customer LTV. Your customer LTV used to be $200. But now you have 10,000 buyers, but your total revenue is $2 million. Because the average customer used to be worth $200, now the average customer is worth $250. Okay? It's that simple because you added another product to your line. Now, these are arbitrary numbers. You could literally be like, you could have 100 buyers, and you could have 4 things in your product, and your product could be $10 each. It doesn't matter. You have a customer LTV. That's the one thing that matters. And what I'm trying to point out is that as you add new products, your LTV goes up. And as your LTV goes up, your ability to advertise goes up. This is all that really matters. All of this is a play to be able to get you confidence to be able to advertise more. Because once you learn to scale your ads, that's how you go from sleeping in your mom's basement, to finally being able to go get your own penthouse. It's just how it works, okay? Got to get those ads flowing. Part 3, high ticket. So you've got a sales funnel that's selling online. You got a back-end webinar starting to convert. Now you got something high ticket on the back of all of that. High ticket is where you really start to maximize your business. Let's talk about high ticket, okay? Let's say you hired a commission-based sales rep to sell a high-ticket offer to only your $1,000 buyers. Now, they don't call your $37 buyers. Your focus should be, this dude bought for $37, try to remarket to that person to get on the webinar and buy that offer, or remarket to buy the 67, the 97, those products, because they're just $37 buyer. But once they buy that $997, they can fill out a little bit of a longer form that includes their phone number, it includes some details about them, stuff like that. And at that point, a salesperson can call them. Now look, I said commission-based. So this really costs you nothing. The risk level, I mean. Okay, you're only going to pay after a sale's made. Why not do this? If I had a list of 10,000 customers, and let's say, 1,000 of them had bought a decent product and filled out a form, why not hire a commission-based sales rep, teach them all about my product, all about my company, and all of everything, and have them call each one of these customers. Say, don't hard sell them, don't be pushy. Call, ask questions, discover what they're looking to accomplish, discover what they're doing, all of that, and then see if this $10,000 product is a good fit for them or not. Don't push anybody. If somebody can't afford it, don't do it. There's no real harm in having that. The only downside to having a high-ticket product is fulfillment. You'll be on the hook to fulfill. If somebody spends $10,000, they're going to expect what it is that you said you're going to do. So now, if you want to make more money, you also are going to have more responsibility. But put it together, figure out something you can commit to. Now you got a high-ticket back end. This example right here, a $37 product with a 67, 97, and 197 upsells. And then on the back end on a webinar, sell them a 997, and then have a phone person call and sell them a 10,000. Okay? If you want to ask me how I was able to scale my business into millions of dollars, this is essentially the formula. Obviously some tweaks and some changes on prices, but essentially this is the formula. So that high ticket offer, $10,000 high ticket offer, is all hypothetical numbers. If I've got somebody on the phone actually calling and closing people who already bought, so people who already spent $1,000, I'm only having them call if people spent $1,000. I believe at 10%, that sales rep's going to tell you all day long they can close at 10%. If you get a good person, they can maybe close those at like 20%. But it's all hypothetical. Maybe they suck and they don't close any. Or maybe your offer's not a good match. So let's use 10%. Literally, what I'm saying in this example is you're closing 10% of only 5% of those customers. You're not closing 10% of your 10,000 customers. You're only closing a small segment. Okay? That's how you do high ticket. That's how it works really, really well. Most of your customers don't even find out about it. All those 10,000, 9,500 customers, they don't even hear about this program. You keep it on the back end, high ticket in the back end. Now, that new money, you add it up to your total revenue. You go back. You have 10,000 buyers total. Your total revenue is now $3 million. So your LTV, your lifetime value, is $300 per customer on average. Very simple. If you're doing it all through Stripe, log in your Stripe. Stripe will tell you it all right there on the dashboard. You just have to do the math. Stripe will tell you how many individual customers you have and how much your total revenue is for that period. So Stripe will do it. It's that simple. And if you're using a merchant account, you can even do that yourself. Total revenue divided by total amount of buyers that you have, not leads. Take your opt-in leads out of the equation. Don't count leads. They haven't bought yet. Those are prospects. There's a difference between prospects and customers. So your customer LTV in this example is $300. It's increased to $100 just by having that back-end funnel. Again, look at the math now. 37 actually equals 300. When you start to look at this way, and the thing is, could I go even further? Yeah, from here, I can continue to find or create my own new offers and continue to sell. So let's say Vince Reed had a $1,000 offer. Let's say I went to one of the amateurs in the industry who's just trying to come up and be like me, like Billie Jean. Okay, if I went to an amateur like Billie Jean and tried maybe to sell one of his products, you know, someone might want it, probably not, but I would at least try. Okay, you could just keep selling. If you have 10,000 customers, buyers, you could just keep trying to sell them stuff. Okay, so he thinks pink is the new orange. Look at that. It's not working, man. It's not working. So you just keep trying, right? So now look at the math. If I add more products, if I keep promoting new affiliate offers, right? Now, next thing you know, I'm an affiliate for Billie Jean, and I generate another $500,000 in commissions. I'm an affiliate for Adrian Morrison. I promote ClickFunnels in there, and then a bunch of people come in. The LTV goes up. Those same 10,000 customers are now worth $400, or they're now worth $500. The higher I can get that LTV, but look at the number on the left, 37. This is the difference between amateurs and professionals. This is what scared me. Even if a lot of you think that this is just such easy math or so basic, this legitimately scared me from generating millions and millions of dollars. I can't predict what's going to scare you, but this kept me in my place. Two things. One is I didn't understand it. The other is I didn't really have confidence in that 300, 400, 500. You know, sometimes you have to just go out there and experiment and figure it out. But that's what happened. LTV means everything. LTV is the number one thing I look at when I scale paid advertising. Okay? It's everything. Now, let's wrap up this talk with $1 million ads. Okay? Let's wrap it up. So you got an understanding. What do we talk about? We talked about my story and I was able to generate a business from literally being broke, welfare, Section 8 food stamps, to generating millions of dollars, and how I tried advertising and lost my money. I quit several times. But eventually, I found a way that worked. I cracked the code and I figured it out, and then I was able to scale. $1 million ads work like this. Do not focus on the initial price. Focus on do not focus. You guys remember what you focus on? Instead of the price of the product, what do you focus on? LTV. Just want to make sure we're clear on that. Okay? Amateur advertisers, they give up on their ad campaigns if they're not profitable right up front. Literally. I mean, I taught Shopify. I run a community right now with 50,000 Shopify sellers. The number one biggest thing is people will say, well, show me. They canceled their ad campaigns because they weren't profitable. And I would do something so simple, say like, what's the average order volume when somebody buys one product, like a $20 product, what's the average customer order volume? They're like, how do I figure that out? I go, okay, like of those 1,000 people that bought that $20 product, did they buy anything else? Oh yeah, like a lot of them also added this or added this or added this. Okay, so how much is the average order of a customer coming in? They're like, well, it's more like 50. Okay, so you're spending $30. You're only making a $20 sell, you're losing money, but you're really making 50. I'm like, how did you not look at your bank account and see that you're bringing in more money? Or another way they'll do this is they won't have an upsell. They'll just try to sell one product. And I'll sit there and say, instead, what about putting a little upsell? They go, well, I don't know what to upsell. I don't know what they want. How about more of the same product? They like that product. Why not give them more? I mean, literally. Like, let's say a product is a shoe cleaner, okay? I just bought a shoe cleaner. I was in the market for shoe cleaners, and I wanted a shoe cleaner. So I bought it. It was $20 or whatever. And then you say, hey, would you like another one you offered for 15? Just try it. You'll be surprised. Like 50% of people will be like, sure, why not? I'm spending money anyways. I'm going to want two. Why not do another one for a discount? And my wholesale price these might only be $5. So what's cool is that I'm making more money on the $15 upsell than I am on the $20 front-end product. Because the $20 product cost me advertising dollars. But once I got them there, it cost me nothing to sell them a $15 product. I'm making more money on that. But how many people were doing that in this community of 50,000 people? Less than 1%. And they didn't even have to go find another hot product. Just sell the same product. It's crazy. If I sell a Facebook advertising course, well, how about that Instagram funnel? Sold the Instagram training, right? Everything else in it was just more Instagram stuff. Hey, I'm in the market for Instagram stuff. Might as well load up. Sell more of the same product. You got to do something to be able to get profitable. Example, an amateur advertiser will spend $1,000 and they'll get maybe like 20 customers to purchase that $37 front-end offer we just showed. Okay, they got this is what I did. Spent my $1,000, got 20 customers, and I was done. Okay, so let's look at their math. 20 customers times $37 each is $740 in revenue. My advertising spend was $1,000. So that means that I lost $260. Spent $1,000, made $740, and I lost money. First of all, by the way, if anybody here is an amateur at scaling ads, just even if I didn't understand anything, if I sold $740 of stuff, I'd give myself a pat on the back. Like, even if I'm losing money, I'm like, I'm close. I'm going to crack this code. Because when I started, I wasn't even making a sale. My ads sucked so bad, I wasn't even making anything. So watch this. 20 customers, they lose money. But how does a professional advertise that? An amateur just quits, right? Professionals, they see the same exact campaign as profitable because they're not focusing on the $37 item. Look at how a professional does it. 20 customers times a $300 LTV equals $6,000 in revenue. Advertising spend is $1,000. Revenue generated $6,000. Total profit $5,000. Same campaign. Here's why. Here's why it's difficult for an amateur. Because an amateur is going to deal in, and I hear it all the time, well, Chris, that's theory, but this is reality. Reality is $37 is what was collected. Well, that amateur doesn't have the vision to see through selling more customers to that person. So that amateur doesn't know. And since the amateur doesn't know, that's what's hard for them. Okay? So, literally, that's the difference. Okay? I know I got the red light's beeping, so I don't know if that's, am I off? Two more, none? Off? I just looked down, I didn't even know. All right.
Get off the stage!
Get off the stage. And is Billy next? Because I'll stay on if Billy's next. It's payback for that one time, Billy. The business that can spend the most to acquire a customer wins. Hands down. Hands down. So I have one more. I'm not going to go to it right now if you guys get the ads. Look at this, Billy. I even put you on the slide, brother. So what do these big internet marketers have in common? I challenge you. Success leaves clues. Go look at every single one of them. 100% of the time, you'll see all their focus on one front-end product, but guess where they're making almost all their money? All this stuff, every single one of them. Okay? Go look at Russell Brunson. Everybody just thinks ClickFunnels, and everybody goes to pricing page and looks at the price of ClickFunnels. If you think that that's where his profits are, that's his front-end product. Wait till you see everything else he has. All that other stuff allows him to take a huge loss to acquire a customer. Because whoever can pay the most for a customer is going to win. Okay, I'm not going to go on the Shopify case study. The summary of the Shopify case study was, I tried this, and we literally spent $5,000 on ads, generated $1 million as a Shopify affiliate by putting together a phenomenal offer. I'll do that another time. I want to be respectful of the audience because it looks like I went over. And that being said, Vince, I appreciate you for having me out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the story, but do this. Do me a favor. Go out there. Don't be afraid of spending money. Just work on getting more profit in your pipeline so you have more money to be able to spend effortlessly and watch as your business scales. Thank me by sending me a DM on social media. My name is Chris Recker. Don't want that brand.
Stand up.